Advances in medicine have an average life expectancy. There is no doubt that vaccination has made a huge contribution to human and animal health, especially in developing countries. On the other side of the fairy tale, most vaccines throughout history have been injected through the arm muscle. It is safe to say that humans and animals are afraid of needles, and we all feel uneasy about vaccine injections. In fact, many people have uncomfortable psychological reactions to doctors and nurses holding a syringe. For those with obsessive-compulsive disorder, there is always concern about careless contamination of the syringes or equipment. From a practical point of view, in addition to safety and effectiveness, a good vaccine should be easy to store and use to reduce pain or harm to the human body during uses. First, as more and more people choose not to be vaccinated, more epidemics break out. People are contagious even before they know they are sick. If you are vaccinated, you can have an immune response to the germs, and prevent them from reproducing more quickly enough to cause disease or spread to others. In other words, vaccines can protect both the person who is being vaccinated and others. Policymakers and scientists need to work together and understand the population's health psychology behavior. You are not trying to change people's thoughts and feelings, but, instead, to make people more willing to get vaccinated. The more people to vaccinate, the less outbreaks, the less conspiracy theories and misinformation spread on the social media, especially in the current situation of global travel and social networking convenience. Why are parents reluctant to vaccinate their children? Because of various rumors about the side effects. With the help of social media, fear can spread faster and more widely. Once you're afraid, it is difficult not to be afraid. Vaccines can indeed have side effects, and any medication has side effects. As we all know, no drug is safe unless it is effective. As the number of new coronavirus cases has been growing at an alarming rate, the demand and urgency for vaccines are high. Currently, more than 200 candidate vaccines are being developed and tested at an lightning rate. It seems that an average of 10 years of technological progress in vaccine research and development has been achieved in just a few months for COVID. And the vaccination rate has now also reached a record speed. The COVID pandemic has changed the course of human history. It should be mentioned that all approved vaccines are still only for uses in emergency situations, and not all pre-sold vaccines will pass the final testing stage. With the intense competition in the global vaccine industry, the distribution of vaccines will definitely take the center stage in the first half of next year. Be aware of the messy issues of polio vaccine mutations in Africa and dengue vaccine controversy in Philippines. In the long run, there are still challenges to develop easy-to-use and effective vaccines. Based on recent developments, and COVID virus characteristics, it is conceivable that new vaccines such as via nasal spray may have potential value in the market. Unlike traditional injection vaccines, nasal spray vaccines enter the airways and lungs through breathing. So far, nasal spray vaccines seem to have several advantages. First, coronavirus is a pathogen that initially invades through the airway. The nasal spray vaccine mimics the natural process of the virus. Second, for coronavirus, intramuscular injection of vaccines are not necessarily an ideal strategy. The immune system cannot see them naturally, and there is a risk of not being able to elicit the correct immune responses. Third, the human body's immune response to pathogens in different tissues and organs may be different, especially the first-line local immune response. Vaccination responses between via nasal and via muscle injection can be quite different. Fourth, coronavirus enters the human body through the mucosa. Intramuscular vaccines usually do a poor job to mount a mucosal reaction, such as the amount and titer of local mucosal antibody IgG. The nasal spray vaccine may cause a strong mucosal response in the airway to attack on the coronavirus, from the moment the virus attempts to break through the mucosal barrier. Fifth, nasal spray vaccination has been tested in animal models and has shown effectiveness. And sixth, the immunogen can be an inactivated or attenuated virus, but is most likely a part of the virus, such as a fragment of the virus surface protein or its expression vector. Pfizer, BioNTech and Moderna's mRNA vaccines have been authorized by the FDA for emergency use. The mRNA vaccine is a brand new vaccine that has been approved for use for the first time. The vaccine effectiveness reported from these two pharmaceutical companies reached 95%. Compared with traditional vaccines, how are mRNA vaccines different? First, materials are easily available in laboratories. Second, the process can be standardized and scaled up. Third, the batch differences are relatively small. Fourth, no deal with live viruses, so the biological hazards in the vaccine production process are minimal. Fifth, because it is not a complete virus, there is no vaccine mutation issues. And sixth, scientists have over 20 years of experiences in this type of vaccine research, such as mRNA vaccines against influenza, Zika virus, rabies and cytomegalovirus, CMV. In December, nearly 67,000 people died with COVID in the United States. This is more than April. December became the deadliest month. Today is December 28th, and the number of new COVID hospitalizations in the United States has set a record. In the past 24 hours, the positive percentage was 10.5%, the red line is the 7-day average. According to the experience of other countries and regions, the positive rate must be less than 5% for the epidemic to be alleviated. In the long run, either we have developed a simple and effective vaccine, or the population has developed herd immunity. Compulsory lockdowns and wearing masks alone are not enough to solve the pandemic problem in a short period, and even worse thing is, there is no effective medical therapeutics for severely ill patients.